I mean, who doesn't love a good sale? I didn't think so. Everybody loves a good sale. And if you have had your eyes on any Love Notions patterns, then you might want to keep watching this video. Hey Stitchers, happy Monday. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Kris and I am completely obsessed with sewing. Now I also happen to be a Love Notions ambassador and I kind of felt like it was my duty to help you guys shop the sale. So for today's video I am going to be sharing my 5 top Love Notions patterns. Actually, that's a little bit of a lie because this shirt has to be my #1 Love Notions make. But this one is a new release and so it is not on sale this week. But if you love it as much as I do, you might still want to go ahead and pick it up. So scratch that. I'm sharing with you 5 of my most loved Love Notions patterns. Does that make sense? So grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen and start writing. My first Love Notions make that I want to share with you guys today is the Love Notions Melody Dolman. Now the Melody Dolman was actually my very first Love Notions make and it was the one that got me my ambassadorship. So clearly that one has a special place in my heart. Now I made my first version, I think it might have been in 2020 or thereabout, in this striped purple and white fabric. And you guys, I made absolutely no adjustments to my first version. I know. Who are you even dealing with today? Because if you have been here long enough, then you guys know I love me a pattern hack. But I figured since it was my first Love Notions make, I wasn't quite familiar with their block just yet. I thought, maybe I should sew it up as is, and I was not disappointed. I'll go ahead and pop a picture here on screen so you guys can see how amazing that Melody Dolman looked. Now I want to share some of the deets with you about the Love Notions Melody. But obviously, I need to reach for my handy dandy notebook. So just one sec. Right, I got it. So the Melody Dolman is a Dolman sleeved top. Is it sleeve if there's no sleeve? All right, so it's like a Dolman sleeve. I don't know, is that what they say still? It has a Dolman cut sleeve. Let me just leave it at that. And that means it's not a set-in sleeve. It sort of just is grown on. And it has been designed for woven fabrics, and you know how your girl feels about woven fabrics. I am a woven girly at heart, even though this year I have sort of been experimenting with sewing some knit fabrics. But that is a conversation for a completely different video. Now the Melody Dolman has a camp style collar, much like the band camp collar shirt, and it is a button down shirt, which means you will have to contend with buttonholes and buttons. I know some of you guys don't like that. They're not that difficult, I don't think. I'm going to be sharing with you quite soon here on the channel a video about how to go about making a classic button down shirt. And you might be able to pick up just a couple tips and tricks in that video that you can incorporate into the making of your own Melody Dolman shirt. Now you can wear your Melody Dolman loose as is, just button down the front, or you can decide to tie it up right at the front. It has like a front knot here around like the belly button area that is optional, so you don't have to do it if that's not your jam. You can just make it and wear it as a regular button down shirt. Now as I said, I love this shirt and I made it a second time and a third time. So the second time I made it, I hacked the back of the Melody Dolman and it has like a tie in the back, and I actually got the idea from Pinterest. I saw this picture on Pinterest and I figured I could recreate it using the Melody Dolman. I set about to do it and I loved it. Now my third Melody Dolman is actually over there in that mess. Oh my god, you guys, if you're not familiar, I am working on the Whole 30 Fabrics challenge and I'm making 3 different collections. I'm making a pink and red collection, I'm making a blue and green collection, and I'm making a black and white collection. So I started working on a hack of the Melody Dolman in a black fabric, but you guys, it is currently on timeout because I haven't quite figured out how I want to do the hack. Like, there are just a couple tweaks that I think I need to make, and I haven't been able to figure it out just yet, and other things have popped up, and so she's currently sitting on timeout, and as soon as those are finished, I'll be back on the channel to share with you all 3 of those collections. Now, if you want to go ahead and grab the Melody Dolman, I don't think I said already, but all of the Love Notions patterns except the Bandcamp shirt are on sale this week. If you use my code, which at the moment is BLK45, you can earn yourself 45% off every other pattern in the Love Notions catalog. Now, it's very important, you guys, to use my code. If you don't use my code, then you'll get the standard 40% off discount applied to your cart. Now, that is the actual Love Notions discount. But if you want a bigger discount and you use my code BLK45, then you'll get yourself 45% off those patterns. And you might just earn yourself a free pattern as well. Now, for my second Love Notions pick, it's gonna be all about the Compose Robe. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have made 2 Compose robes and I love them both. So the first one I made, it was sort of like a swimsuit cover-up because I decided to use, what is it called? It's not chiffon, it's not organza, but it is very lightweight. It is see-through. I think it has like a burn-out design on it, but I'm not quite sure what the fabric substrate was. But it's gorgeous, you guys. I love this robe and I wear it so much. I wear it in the house because of course I live in the Caribbean and it is almost always roasting here, so I made a lightweight robe, and I also like to wear it as a cover-up when I go to the beach. Now, I have shared 2 blogs over on the Love Notions platform featuring the Compose robe. So in one of those blogs, I was showing you guys how to go about doing a narrow shoulder adjustment. So if your upper body is quite narrow, you might find that your shoulder seam sort of slips off the edge of your shoulder, and that is a good indication that you might need to go ahead and perform what's called a narrow shoulder adjustment, just to shift the arm side in towards your actual shoulder point. So if you think you might need it and you have no idea what to do, then you can head on over to that blog post. I'll leave the link down below in the description box so that you can find it quite easily. I also did a second blog post over on the same platform, and this one featured a sloping shoulder adjustment. Now, I do not know about you guys, but my posture sucks. It just sucks. And that means my shoulders slope. Now, if you're wearing a camisole, for example, or a dress or something that has thin straps, you might find that your straps slip off your shoulder. Or if you're wearing a top that has satin sleeves, you might find that it feels quite tight under the arm side, but there's extra fabric sitting on the top of your shoulder. Now, these are good indications that you might need to perform a sloping shoulder adjustment. And again, I wrote a whole blog post about how to go ahead and do a sloping shoulder adjustment, and you can also find that on the Love Notions blog platform. I'll go ahead and leave the link to that one down below as well, just in case you need a sloping shoulder adjustment. And if it happens that you need the opposite adjustment, which is a square shoulder adjustment, then you just need to follow the steps in reverse. So you're going to do the opposite to what I say in that blog post. I hope I'm making sense. Now, for those of you who are heading into winter, you can absolutely make your Compose robe in thicker fabrics. Think faux fur, think like those plush blanket type fabrics. Those will work amazingly for the Compose robe, and I feel like it's a quick and easy sew. There are no closures, so no zips, no buttonholes, none of that to contend with. So it's awesome. And I think you can also make the Compose robe as well in knit fabrics. So those of you who prefer knit fabrics over woven fabrics, don't count this pattern out. You can absolutely use it for your favorite knit fabrics as well. Now, as a special bonus, the Compose robe also has a kiddies version. So perfect for those mommy and me moments, especially as we're heading into Christmas. I know some families like to do the matching pajamas sort of trend, and I feel like good robes can work quite nicely with that trend. So go ahead and snap yourself up the Compose robe. Now, the third pattern I want to share with you is the Love Notions Cadence. Now, the Cadence has 3 different length options and 5 different sleeve options. Like, how is that for versatility, you guys? You can buy this one pattern and make up several different garments for your wardrobe. So you can opt to do like the blouse length, or you can decide to make a dress length. You can opt for short sleeves, or if it's colder where you are, you can use the long bishop sleeves. I mean, the combinations in my mind are endless. So I actually made the Cadence dress 3 different times. So the first 2 times I actually hacked the pattern. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find some pictures of both of those hacks so I can pop them on screen for you guys to see. Now, one of those hacks, I rotated out the bust darts and had like gathers at the shoulders, incorporated a little bit of shirring into the waistline, did like a tier situation. I thought it was super cute, and if you agree, be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Now for the second hack, I decided to do, I think it was an asymmetrical lined dress with some ruching at one side in this solid red poplin fabric. Again, I love that make. I don't typically work with solid fabrics. I am much more of a print girly, but because it had like that ruching detail and the asymmetrical cut, I thought it was cute and chic, and I loved it. Now for my third Cadence dress, I actually shared a video of it here on the channel where I was trying to recreate a Temu look. Now, I do not shop Temu, period. I don't like those fast fashion brands, especially like Temu and Shein and so on, that don't have very good working practices. So I just avoid shopping Temu and Shein for that reason. However, I have come across some pretty cute looks on their site, and I thought it would be much better for me to recreate them using patterns I own and much better fabrics and obviously much better workmanship. So I went ahead and made one such make using the Cadence dress. I made a maxi version with some side slits in this unusually striped fabric that my friend Carol purchased for me in Barbados. And I love this dress, you guys. I don't wear maxi dresses very often. It is just so hot where I live. But because it has the side slits, I feel like I can get a little bit of air circulating around my legs. So I would absolutely recommend grabbing up the Cadence dress on the Love Notions sale. Now, I don't think I mentioned already that all of the patterns I'm talking about today come in the Love Notions extended sizes. That is an extra small all the way up to a 5XL. So they are definitely quite inclusive. In addition to that, these patterns all have 2 cup sizes. So there's the standard block for those people who have, I think, a 2-inch or less difference between your high bust and your full bust. And then there's also a full bust option for those of you who are a little bit more well endowed and have a 4-inch difference between your high bust and your full bust. Now, obviously, if you are much larger than that, you may need to do a full bust adjustment. And if you are much smaller, you might consider doing a small bust adjustment. But I feel like Love Notions is a step ahead of many other pattern companies because they have these 2 cup options that you can start with. Now, the 4th Love Notions pattern I would definitely recommend, it is the Caprice skirt. You guys, I love this skirt. I made it using this floaty, swishy fabric that I got on a fabric haul in Barbados. In case you missed that video, I'll go ahead and pop the link to that haul right here. Just in case you are equally obsessed with fabric shopping, you can go ahead and check out all of the goodies that I added to my stash. Now, the Caprice skirt is also designed for wovens, and it has 5 different options, you guys. Now, the waistband is finished with elastic, which makes this a very beginner friendly sew. In my opinion, you do not have to contend with buttonholes, you do not have to contend with zippers. You just need to put in some elastic, and the Love Notions tutorial provides 2 different ways to go ahead and incorporate the elastic. You can either just serge your elastic around the top of your skirt and then flip your elastic up, top stitch it down, and rock your skirt. Now, the second way requires you to make an elastic casing and then insert your elastic in that casing. Either which way, I think it's a pretty easy sew, and so if you're new to sewing and you want to sort of get your feet wet, I think the Caprice skirt is a great starting project. Now, I have shared a full pattern review with you here on the channel. I'll go ahead and drop the thumbnail in right here, and you can head on over and watch that full review after you watch this video. Duh, you have to finish watching this video first. That's a given. Now, the 5th pattern I want to share with you is the Love Notions Harmony top. Obviously, this one is also made for woven fabrics. Absolutely no surprise there. It comes in the standard sizing, as I said, extra small to 5XL with 2 bust options, and this one is designed as a blouse. Clearly you can decide to hack it into a dress if you wanted to. You can go ahead and just add some length to it. You can go ahead and incorporate some tiers into it. There are so many different ways you can hack this pattern, and let me tell you, my girl Carol has hacked this pattern I think at least 20 times. I kid you not. If you want to go ahead and check out many hacks to this pattern, I would absolutely recommend that you head on over to her Instagram account. I'll put her handle in on the screen so you can find it, and just be prepared to be amazed with how many times this woman has hacked the harmony top. Now, I myself have made this top pattern I think twice. The first time I made it using a poplin fabric, and it was this navy blue base with kisses all over it. I thought it was such a novelty fabric, and it was just cute and fun. Now, the second time I made the harmony, I actually made it in a very lightweight, I think it was a viscose fabric. Actually, I think it might be here on this rack. Right, so this is the second version I made of the Love Notions harmony blouse, and I made the option with the short sleeves. Now, I did go ahead and share 5 tips for sewing with bias binding over on the Love Notions YouTube channel. So I'll pop the thumbnail in here so you can know what you're looking for, and I'll leave the link down below in the description box in case you need help in sewing your bias binding. Now, you guys, I much prefer sewing facings. I will choose a facing any day over a binding. That being said, there are some instances where you just cannot avoid sewing with bias binding. So I went ahead and shared my top 5 tips for working with bias binding, and you can find that, as I said, over on the Love Notions YouTube channel. Now, I prefer this version over my first version because the cut of this top is quite fitted at the bust and sort of flares out over the hips. I just think that a floatier and drapier fabric gives a much nicer look on my body shape. That is my preference. Now, if you want the shape to stand out a lot more, then you can go ahead and use a much more stable fabric, as I did with my poplin version. So again, if you need some help with your bias binding, then head on over to that video. Now that I'm talking about finishing, I did forget to mention when I was talking about the Cadence top and dress, I actually did a blog post as well over on the Love Notions blogging platform about how to go about sewing in the facing into the Cadence. Now, the Cadence, if you decide to do the sleeveless option, has an all-in-one facing, meaning that it finishes off the neckline and the arm side all in one. If you have no idea how to do it, then I would absolutely recommend you go over and give that blog post a read. You might find it to be quite helpful, especially if you're new to sewing. Now, you guys, those were my 5 Love Notions patterns that I would absolutely recommend you pick up during this sale. Now, Love Notions only has a sale 2 times a year, so don't think that you're going to wait for Black Friday to go ahead and pick up your patterns. Now is the time to get all of your Love Notions patterns. Again, you will get them for 40% off when you add them to your cart, but if you want to save an extra 5%, and also support your girl, then go ahead and remove the automatic cart discount and replace it with my affiliate code, again BLK45, and save yourself 45% almost all of the Love Notions patterns, this one excluded. But to be honest, you guys, even though this one is not on sale, I would definitely recommend you pick up this Bandcamp shirt. It is just gorgeous. Everything about this shirt is gorgeous. Now, I did share more details about it here on the channel during the Precious Fabric Challenge that was hosted by Whitney of Tomcat Stitchery. I'll go ahead and drop the thumbnail in here. You can run on over and watch my reveal video, and then you can get all of the deets and some behind the scenes making of my Bandcamp shirt. Now, that is all I needed to share with you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment down below, and let me know if you're going to pick up any of these patterns or any of the Love Notions patterns during the sale. Again, it runs from Monday the 7th of October and ends on Friday the 11th of October 2024. So you have just a couple days to think about what you might want to grab. Go ahead and add them to your cart, and be sure to use my affiliate code. Alright, you guys, so until next time, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and go shop the Love Notions sale.